Dear members and guests of the African RCEs, thank you for this opportunity to send greetings to this 10th African RCE conference being hosted by RCE Minna. I must say this topic that you've chosen, community-based resilience during pandemic disruption and the role of African RCEs, is so timely and appropriate. Interestingly, my wife and I were able to take part in one of the previous African RCE meetings, also hosted in Minna. We will never forget the warm hospitality during our visit to Nigeria. We're so pleased to see, for instance, that the community tree planting work that you envisioned while we were there in Minna has become a reality and is now expanding to include the creation of a plant nursery. We wish you well with this further expansion. We so admire the broad engagement African RCEs have achieved with the inclusion of so many sectors of society, including academia and teachers, local government, NGOs, religious leaders, and especially youth. Your work is an example of the RCE concept of building knowledgeable, sustainable communities of differing shapes, sizes, and contexts. As a result of the disruption caused by the pandemic, these are important times in creating a new vision of a sustainable community future, especially the roles of ESD in carrying out aspects ranging from envisioning to actual implementation. To accompany and facilitate the 2030 Agenda and its 17 SDGs, UNESCO, at the request of the UN, is about to release a global framework called ESD for 2030 to guide ESD itself and also to augment the implementation of all the SDGs. The ESD for 2030 framework is the follow-up to the Global Action Program, the GAP, as we call it, that ran from 2015 to 2019. This new framework will focus on integrating ESD and the 17 SDGs into the 5 key focus areas of the GAP. The one being policies, the second being learning environments, the third being the capacity building of educators, the fourth, the empowerment and mobilization of youth, and the fifth, including the local level action in creating more sustainable and just communities. All of these 5 really align with the work of the RCEs. We also appreciate the support many of you have given to our UNESCO Chair's Global Research Project on using ESD to improve the lives of Indigenous youth. In spite of the lack of financial resources, many of you are finding ways of carrying out the research as you find it useful to those you serve. Africa in general is a great example of what can be done by engaging human resources when financial and other resources are scarce. These are difficult times in Nigeria, across Africa, and indeed across the world. In light of the pandemic and the resulting collapsing of economies, it calls for restructuring communities and seeking the next normal. Hopefully, community discussion and engagement through mechanisms such as the RCEs will play a role in shaping the future you want. I congratulate you as the RCE African Network on being able to host this conference. We wish you well, and that great ideas not only emerge, but ways and means are found to bring them to fruition. Best regards to all of you, and best wishes for this virtual conference.